Attention all Ground Zero radio fans. GroundZeroMerch.com is your one-stop shop.
You have entered the paradigm shift, a timely show with the current environment society is experiencing today. With important changes in our culture, we are being conditioned to change our way of thinking, catapulting us into a new, unknown future. Navigate with me, JP, as we journey through this new world every Saturday night between 6 and 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tonight's show, the mysteries of Bigfoot. Hour 2, our special guest, Yasman, our Facebook Bigfoot expert. Hold on.
So you're on a scenic train ride through southwest Colorado when suddenly you see...
It's an elusive creature.
Wait, is that?
Oh my God, Sasquatch!
So my mind started racing. It's like, all right, I got to get this on. I got to get a clip of this.
Brandon here was on a trip from Florida just expecting to, see mountains, but then the couple in front of him noticed a mountain of a man.
It's not easy keeping the camera stabilized at that zoom level.
Pretty sure it's just Sasquatch down there.
Even from a moving train, Brandon's video is way better than most clips we've gotten with Bigfoot. And as you probably know, soon it was everywhere.
All right, just squat it down.
Harry's dropping the Hendersons off at the pool.
Now, I should mention that Brandon really does not like all this attention.
I ended up having to make my Instagram private.
But one aspect he did appreciate is the connection to his grandfather and his home state. You see, down in Florida...
This supposedly is video of Florida's elusive skunk ape.
There is a local Bigfoot called the skunk ape. Skunk ape. Growing up, Brandon's grandpa used to take him fishing and tell him stories about the mysterious skunk ape.
I definitely sent him the clip, and he was pretty excited about it.
But was the creature in this video some kind of skunk ape Sasquatch thing?
Do you think that was a guy in a suit?
I think, yeah, it's probably likely that it was a local having some fun.
But come on, what fun is that?
Well, you'll see a lot of people just shut it down really quickly, but I think it's fun to speculate.
Do that. You're listening to the Paradigm Shift. Welcome. I am your host, JP. Happy to be here tonight. I have the honor of serving you on this mighty ship, the Paradigm Shift. As the waters are only getting rougher, my only advice to you is to watch the water. The ocean of lies. It's about to be flooded with the evidence of truth. The truth does not care what the lies think. My friends, nothing, absolutely nothing can stop what is coming. We are on a mission from God, you and I. We're in this time. We are chosen for a time such as this. Believe it or not, be honored. You're about to experience something bigger than the flood, bigger than the crucifixion of Christ. We are about to go through something that is biblical. Are you ready for biblical? Because I'm not. Welcome to the show. So for tonight, please share those links right now so others can enjoy the show too. GroundZero.radio, GroundZeroMedia.org, StudioJFM.com. Right now, do it so others can enjoy the show too. I mean, when I say we're on a mission from God, folks, we literally are on a mission from God and time is running out. It's true. It's all right. It's Saturday night. Let's jam. Great music. Great music. We're broadcast from Studio J out here in Rio Rancho, New Mexico in the iBug Guy Network studios. iBug Guy, leader of pest control since 2013. It's true, Jack. I do thank everyone that uses this little company. Stay tuned because the winter services are rolling. Yes, we are doing iPoop. Get your dog's doo-doo cleaned at a very reasonable rate. Contact us at, the usual number. And computer services. We're starting that now, too. Networking, upgrading, whatever you want. We got it all here. Come to iBug Guy. Also want to thank you, listeners at StudioJFM.com, our little internet radio home. Good to know folks are listening, and I really thank you. That's very cool. All right, so, you can come here for some of the best network programming on the web. Some of the best shows are here. Clyde Lewis, Art Bell, Dan Bongino, Michael Savage, Joe Rogan, you name it, man. The schedule's on the website. Go check it out, StudioJFM.com, 24/7, 365, home of the paradigm shift. Always something to listen to on Studio J. Now, if you're on the Aftermath and you got a membership because you're a premium person, you're watching this on the video right now. Let me give you some more here. Okay, we had a little music from last night. I apologize. Welcome. And if you're not a member at Aftermath, you need to become a premium member so you can watch this show on video as well as Clyde Lewis. Don't get crazy. We get to share because if Clyde was on tonight, believe me, this thing would be off, buddy. But anyway, we have the honor of, they gave me the keys to the kingdom. You can now watch this. All right, so get a membership today. It's affordable, all right? And you're not going to get any better information on the web, I assure you. Thousands of videos out there. Well, maybe I don't know. There's a bunch. All the information, everything. Clyde Lewis, you get a once a month with Clyde. It's a very small amount to pay for a plethora of information. You probably spend more at Starbucks, buddy. I actually had one of those today. Was it today or last night? My wife would remind me. I don't go there. But somehow, once in a blue moon, they end up on my desk. This is NewMexicoPinonCoffee.com. You can get yourself some from them, please. That was their website. Very good, excellent gifts for the holiday. Really, get a nice little bag of Pinon roast coffee. Not coffee bean, it's Pinon. Aftermath.media is where you go to get your premium membership. Do it now. Let's see, what does this say? You go to the news site to watch this video, blah, blah, blah. Get your merch at Ground Zero. I'm plugging too much here, man. I apologize. Now, if you're listening to the Paradigm Shift for the first time, welcome and thank you. We are crazy. We do crazy stuff here. Matter of fact, tonight we're getting away from the cray-cray. Oh, yeah. We're going to do something fun. We're going to do Bigfoot tonight because I'm telling you, man, you're going to kill yourself if you bury yourself in this crazy, insane clown world we're going through every single day. It's unbelievable. I still wake up and say, what the? Now, if you call in on this show or you're a guest, please, no bad words, no racism, no hate. The low vibe clown world stuff. We don't do that here. Just keep it clean. Jesus is watching, and that's my guy. We're talking about Bigfoot tonight, and Yasman, our in-house expert on Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, as they would say, will be joining us in a bit. But for me, Bigfoot's always been this kind of long shot thing, okay? I live in New Mexico, UFO kingdom of the world. I don't see nothing. So this is one of those things for me. I mean, I want to believe. I really would like to believe. But, I want to believe, too, that, there's UFOs, aliens, pyramids, Nikola Tesla, and that we're not being slaves to pedivore, child molesting scum that we pay taxes to. But like everything, Bigfoot is just another one of those off to the great mystery things for me. It really is. Anyway, let me check the chat. Welcome, guys. No Starbucks for me. Well, man, I drink it when it's here, but it's not here a lot. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I had a Starbucks. I want to believe, too. If you're not in the chat at the Paradigm Shift in Discord, capitalize the Paradigm Shift. Get on in there, and there's a chat in. Aftermath, which I'm not in. I apologize. I can only do so much at once. I really am a one-man show at this gig. So, here we go with Bigfoot. Yeah, I mean, this story never dies, and with good intentions, too. I mean, there are a large number of people that believe, and some of them have some proof, depending on who you are and which way you want to go with this thing. I guess if one thinks about it, it could certainly be this creature-like animal living in the wilds. I mean, that's true. We have, lions and cougars and all kinds of things that live in the wilds. But, when it comes to Bigfoot, there's nothing. We don't have no proof. I mean, in my eyes, I'm an outsider, okay? That's why I'm very excited to have Yaz on tonight, because he is passionate about Bigfoot, and we're going to get real information, okay? We've had 2 Bigfoot shows prior to this one in the years gone by. They were okay. They were okay. Tonight's going to be great. Now, other animals around the wilds, we know they exist. We know they breed. We can tell by their populations. We know they're, when they're going extinct. I mean, we know when they die. We find their carcasses. But with Bigfoot, we don't know any of this. There is no validated footage that we can actually say we can believe, yes, that is Bigfoot. No real physical evidence. I mean, that's the way I see it as an outsider. We don't have dead carcasses, body burial places, any kind of ritualistic stuff, evidence, bones, caves, a skeleton, for God's sake, nothing. Yes, we have the big footprints, and, I'm not trying to sound like the old naysayer over here. I'm really not. I'm open-minded to a lot of stuff. But anybody can make those things. Those casts are easy to make. You got to believe the story. You got to keep it alive, which this story don't die. I mean, we have some film, but even the original film from the 70s is a bit skittish to me. I mean, it really is. I'm going to play you this little giddy up here. Yes, we have diddlies. Hold tight.
A half-century ago, 2 former rodeo men went into the woods with a 16-millimeter camera and stumbled on Bigfoot.
When she's walking across a sandbar and spreads her arms out and looks at the camera, frame 352, that's become the Bigfoot icon for our culture.
The sighting of Patty, as she would later be known, at Bluff Creek in California is one of the most famous reels in film history. Before the Patterson-Gimlin film, named after its makers, the Sasquatch was a local Northwest legend. After, Bigfoot became an international celebrity. But look at this clip from the 2017 movie War for the Planet of the Apes. I mean, it's obvious now with the leaps in film and costume technology that this is just someone in an ape suit, right? A guy even passed a lie detector test on national TV, claiming he wore the suit.
About whether you were the Bigfoot shown in the 1967 Patterson film. Yes.
But the film continues to fascinate people. How confident are you this film's real?
At this point, I'm as confident as I can be, short of having stood on the sandbar with Roger and Bob and witnessed it myself.
That's Jeff Meldrum, a professor of anatomy and anthropology at Idaho State. He's known for being one of the few academics to openly study Sasquatch. For Bigfooters around the world, the Patterson-Gimlin film is not only real, it's one of the strongest pieces of evidence of the existence of an undiscovered giant walking ape on the planet. Still, 50 years later, the film is yet to be officially debunked. So, how is this not a person wearing an ape suit?
It's all so easy to say, oh, that's obviously a man in a fur suit, until you see it up against a man in a fur suit.
He points to the Planet of the Apes franchise that came out around the same time as the film and won an Oscar for the makeup. He specifically calls up a scene in the sauna in the 1970 sequel, Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
They look like big, hairy Pillsbury Doughboys.
Jeff Meldrum compares it to the Patterson-Gimlin film, which he shows to his anatomy students. I'm also including some stabilized footage from a Reddit user that helps illustrate Jeff's point.
And say, all right, I want you to point out as many landmarks of surface anatomy and muscle masses that you can identify. And they start at the head, and they can see the trapezius, they can see the deltoid, they can see the lateral and long heads of the triceps. You can see the erector spinae down the back. You can see the shoulder blades moving under the skin. I mean, you just go on and on from top to bottom. You can pick out all these features, none of which ever show up in a cheap off-the-shelf costume.
Costume manufacturer Philip Morris claimed just that in this video. He gave talks about how he sold Patterson the suit worn in the film.
He's walking, he turns his way.
But the most relevant proof of Bigfoot's existence for some serious researchers isn't easily captured on film. It's what the Sasquatch leaves behind. Cliff Barackman has one of the largest collections of Sasquatch footprints in the world. You might recognize Cliff as the co-host of Animal Planet's Finding Bigfoot. He's seen a lot of fake prints, but says the Patterson-Gimlin ones aren't so easily dismissed.
The trailing leg of the creature also shows the flexibility in the mid part of the foot. There are a few frames there where we see Patty take her heel off the ground, but yet keep the entire forefoot in touch with the ground.
Along with the footage of Patty was a clear track of footprints.
One of them showed a very distinctive pressure ridge, a push-off that comes about as a result of the very flexible midfoot.
This distinct characteristic is a smoking gun for Jeff. He's seen that pressure ridge in foot samples across decades and continents. But both Jeff and Cliff admit that until there's a body, then the film and all the research will be up for debate. If it's a guy in a suit, the Patterson-Gimlin film is one of the great hoaxes of all time. If it's not, the film would completely upend everything we understand about apes and evolution. Either way, the Patterson-Gimlin film turned a Northwest local legend into a global icon. And it's endured because it reminds us there are some things in the world we can never know for sure.
Want to thank OVD and John for that little vid there. You see the problem here, folks? They said it right there that, you know, the body, there's no body. I mean, when I see this video and the Bigfoot looks directly at the camera, what I'm seeing is this head. Excuse me, I'm enjoying coffee. The face, and it looks like a mask to me. It actually looks like you can, you know, like the eyes, you can see skin, and it just, I don't know. We're looking at a lot of masks lately. Everybody's got a mask on out there, you know, it seems like. But this one does look like a mask to me. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not a pro, but that's just me. I mean, I could be very well wrong. You know, a lot of people want to believe, and it seems that most of the footage I see is fake, and it's people in costumes. And, you know, that's part of the problem, too. I mean, many people fake their Bigfoot experience for, you know, I guess for likes or whatever. God, this like generation. Oh, my God, like me. Like I have, I don't know, I got some followers now on Twitter. I have 160, 100. I had 32, but you know, the word's getting out slowly. I don't know how people get 60,000. Who cares? Who cares? Anybody that's a patriot that does this for the money, they're the like crowd. I don't care. I'm here to bring you information, truth. We're having some fun with Bigfoot tonight because, God, I don't think I could look at Joe Biden's mask one more time. Oh, boy. It's the like generation. That's where we're at, guys. I mean, you know, most news reporters and news clips, when they report on Sasquatch or Bigfoot, they don't take it seriously. It's always jokey, you know, at best. I mean, but there's some real people that are serious about Bigfoot, and, you know, they're producing respectful reporting. But, I mean, I feel sorry for Bigfoot. It's everybody's making fun of this poor guy. Nobody loves Bigfoot. We love you, Bigfoot. Now, here's an interesting one. Art Bell provided us a clip in 2007 of what a listener described as an audio of Bigfoot in the wild. So let's, this one's kind of crazy. We're going to play that, and then you guys can judge it.
Ready?
What the heck?
Good Lord. I had no idea what was coming. Holy mackerel, guys.
Okay, so even old Art Bell, not knowing what we just heard could be true or not, I don't know. Even with the audio, you get this like grainy sounding, hard to decipher type thing. And, it just doesn't, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, what did you guys think? Did it sound like Bigfoot to you? I mean, no telling. Just another great mystery of the mighty Bigfoot. It almost sounded, if it was real, just say, which it probably isn't, sounded like almost like a language. Like there was a language going on there. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I want to believe. Maybe Yaz can convince me. Now, this, when we opened up with the Colorado tourist, right, that filmed the Bigfoot off the train, I have the original clip here without all the fluff. And I want you to, I have a big problem with this. I want to play it for you. So here you go. Aftermathers.
It's Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. A guy named Branton sent us the following video while we were on a Bigfoot expedition. Here is the latest purported Bigfoot captured on video near Silverton, Colorado. This appears to be captured from the train that runs between Durango and Silverton. We will zoom in 200%. Then
sorry, man, that's a costume.
And then we will play the original again with the original audio and then run back all through this one more time with you. Yeah, like I said, we were camping less than 100 miles northwest of here when it was filmed doing a Bigfoot sighting investigation on Thunder Mountain. Colorado is well known for Bigfoot sightings and is currently the #1 reported Sasquatch hotspot in all of the Rocky Mountains.
It's an elusive creature. All right, just squat it down. Yeah, let me see your camera. I'll do it.
Said original.
All right, just squat it down.
This isn't the close-up one. The close-up's next.
Yeah, let me see your camera. I'll do it.
Here's 200.
It's an elusive creature. All right, just squat it down. Yeah, let me see your camera. I'll do it.
And we're going to cap it there because all they do is repeat it over and over again. And it's just silly. It's silly. To me, the guy looks like a dude in a costume. It literally looks like a costume. The way he walks, the way his balance is. I mean, like I know how Bigfoot walks. I'm going to assume ape-like. The thing with Bigfoot is that Bigfoot is not hunched over. Bigfoot is actually on 2 feet. I mean, just imagine for a moment that Bigfoot could be the missing link between us and the apes. I mean, really, I know the Christians are flipping out right now. Well, flip. I mean, when this Bigfoot squats down, what is he, taking a dump? And I swear it looks like, if you really look at it, I mean, you can go back on the Internet of Things and see the video for yourself. It almost looks like he's doing a hand signal or something when he squats down. I mean, why do people do this? This is obviously fake, and maybe it's already proven to be fake by now. I don't know. It was about a month ago or so, wasn't it? Maybe a little longer. But why do people do this? Why? They take all the credibility of Bigfoot away by doing these stupid videos, because you want likes. I mean, for me, this is how I feel about Bigfoot. Give me some legitimate proof or shut it down, man. Seriously, because these hoaxes will go on forever. And we'll sit there and go, oh, no, not that one. I remember the day that got released, that Colorado one, and I threw it in the Discord right away. Found a link, and then all of a sudden it blew up over the internet. Now, eventually, we'll probably learn that that this is a fake video. And these people got their likes, and, Mr. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch, and everybody got in on it, and you just look like fools in the end of the day. There was a couple of guys, this has had to be 10 maybe 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. And the sheriff was involved in all this, and they had a body. They shot it. They were out hunting. They shot it. Well, what happened? Well, they dragged the body. Everybody's confirming the sheriff's involved, blah, blah, blah. Turned out to be a big bunch of hoopaki. It was no Bigfoot. It was a freaking costume, and they bloodied it up like a prop. Did you hear about that movie producer's kid in Hollywood? Oh, my God. They found bodies. He tried to pay somebody $500. I'm going to throw this in there because it's kind of relevant. He tried to pay somebody $500 to take these bags away when they just something didn't sit right. They opened it up, and sure enough, they were the bodies of his mother-in-law and I don't know, his wife, and the dad. I shouldn't even be laughing. It's not funny. And what do you tell the cops? Oh, they're movie props. This ain't Bigfoot, buddy. Those are real bodies. The world's nuts. I'm just seeing crazy, insane, clown world, low vibe stuff happening every single day. The internet is the biggest low vibe you could actually put on yourself. And here I am on the stupid thing broadcasting. But it's true. We're turning into this crazy world. Now, we have one here. Let me see. We need proof or put this legend to sleep. Yes, I just said that. Now, here's one from Payson, Utah, this clip says. Is that right? Payson. I thought that was Arizona. Vinny says Utah. All right, here we go. You got a Bigfoot sneaking around in the woods, and cameraman's there recording all this conveniently. Now we just waved into another video, a little closer. You can see this thing in the bushes. All in all, this would be a pretty decent shot. It's just the same old stuff. That's enough of this. I got to watch it to the end because I'm like, what is the difference? Why would we do this? Why? Well, we're in the like club. Old JP doesn't give a rip, man. You want to hang out? Cool. You don't want to hang out? Cool. We're in the like club. Everybody but you can like me. I mean, I am a little narcissistic. Again, behind the trees, you can't see the creature. Quite frankly, do you think that this vicious beast would just sit there and look at this cameraman? I mean, don't you think if this thing was a Bigfoot, what does it just eat vegetables and leaves? Could you really get that close to Bigfoot with a camera? And, of course, all you're seeing is the legs and maybe an arm, a flash of a head. I mean, do you think this Bigfoot's a wimp and it's scared of everything and it runs? No, come on. Come on, man. I mean, is he not like a mountain lion, right? Or a wild cougar? In the mountain, we have these big cats around here. I mean, you'd think that thing would just tear a human apart. I mean, that's what a cougar would do, and I'm not talking about those kind of cougars. No, we have mountain lions out here in New Mexico. We actually have a cougar that lives down by the river. I don't know how it got there, but it lives on people's roofs, and some people don't like it, and some people do. Not even kidding. It's been going on for years. I own the pest control company. That's how I know these things. Kind of weird, but. I mean, are we confusing Bigfoot with bears? I mean, very well could be. I mean, that shot could have been a bear, but a bear wouldn't just sit there posing, man. A bear would be like, rah, it would maul you. It would maul you. Now, here's a, excuse me. This is this one's crazy because this one's, all right, here, I'm just going to show it to you. I'm going to babble. Dramatic footage claims to show new sighting of Bigfoot. That's what it says from Independent TV. Thank you. And what we got here is this clip, okay? And I'll let you ascertain it for yourself here for the moment. And then we'll shut her down because it's just going to loop. That's all we get, you see. I mean, if that is not a clear shot of Bigfoot, I don't know what is, but there's a lot of problems with that shot. I mean, to me, it literally looks like a large hunter. I mean, there's men that big wearing hunting attire, like maybe this, close-knit overall type thing. Excuse me. And seriously, they give us this 30-second video, and all it is 10 seconds looping again. I mean, with a shot that clear, wouldn't you want to open it up to, a good, 50 seconds straight? So, it's a problem with every single video that I see. I mean, if this creature exists, I personally think it would not only appear to us, but it would make itself known. I really do. I think it would, it would colonate down in our areas. I mean, they would be going through trash cans. They'd be looking for all kinds of things. If this creature is in the mountains of Colorado, what's to say it's not here in New Mexico? And we have tons of houses out there in the mountains. You don't think somebody, anything, a trail cam would not have caught Bigfoot? And I don't mean to, really, get on the Bigfoot people. I mean, there's literally tens of thousands of clips of Bigfoot out there, and I would say 98% of them, of that footage, is just a hoax. I mean, very hard to prove when, there's so much, bunk footage out there. I mean, Jesus. What is this one? Oh, wow. I got a couple of good ones here. All right, so this one's another one. BF1, I'm calling it. Here, you check it out for yourself. Another fluff job. That's a Bigfoot chomping at a tree, breaking a branch, or doing something. If you're watching the video, you got a clear shot of the back of Bigfoot. Pretty, got some good movement there. Making a lot of noise. Dust is flying. Very dramatic. Something here says he pushed the record button by accident. The clip stopped, but whatever. Just watch on. Oh, wow. Is that water there? So, this guy's apparently standing behind Bigfoot, recording at this elevated level. And, of course, got to have that blurry camera in there. Of course. Now we got a good shot of his head just looked up. Still banging on the tree. Maybe he's getting some bugs. I want you to see the part where he stands up, though. There you go. Wow. I mean, if that was real, that is fascinating. Looks like he's looking for something in the tree trunk there. Interesting. Now, I hold on. Let's watch the complete video, and then I'll make my comment. It almost looks like a man. See now? Stands up and he looks at the guy, and the guy runs off. And there you go. We don't need to hear the rest of that. There's no more left. Of course. Of course. Because, at the end of this, Bigfoot stands up, startles the camera person. We won't say man or woman. It's only two genders. I don't know why we get so flustered over that. But, of course, the camera person ups and runs because if that was a real Bigfoot, you'd run too. It was pretty interesting. I mean, the thing stands up. It's pretty tall. It's, I mean, how do you believe something like that? Never a clear shot. You know, when the cameraman gets up, it's conveniently when Bigfoot stands up and boom, dashes off. We got like a little microcosm of video. How do you believe that? Never good evidence, you know. I mean, granted, I would run like hell too if I saw a 7 to 8 foot creature stand up heading towards me. But could you even outrun a Sasquatch? Seriously, if this thing saw you and started coming at you, I mean, you're toast, dude. I mean, is this how people in the mountains are coming up missing because Bigfoot, they fell victim to Bigfoot? And I'm not making fun of Bigfoot people, so don't start blasting my email. Now, this one I like the best. This is an interesting one from Todd Standing. And this is a still photo that he enhanced, and I'll let him explain it to you. But this one's pretty interesting. Let's see. Here we go.
If it was all that I got, it would have never been proven as Bigfoot. Here's one of the photographs. This looks like an artist's drawing, but it's not. It's actually a photograph. I just had to crank up the contrast and brightness and saturation so you could have a good look and see his eyes and his nose and his fur.
Now, I would think, I'm going to pull that back so you guys can look at it. I would actually think that if Bigfoot looked like anything, it would probably look like that. Apparently, this is a still picture that Todd got that was in the dark, so he enhanced it with some contrast, and it made out, you know, the heck is that noise? Not sure. I think my computer, if it starts smoking, I'll let you know. It really enhanced the face and the nose and kind of a, not what you expect, like a monkey or ape looking face, but actually like a almost human looking thing. I don't know what that is, guys, but bear with it because this is a creepy place. So interesting face indeed, but real? I mean, we just don't know. I mean, oh, this one's really good. This one here, well, that went off. This one here is a vocal that we pick up from a mushroom hunter. Did I get that right? Vinny, is it a mushroom hunter? You hear that? Maybe it's the guy next door. All right, anyway, my wife always says when I say that she doesn't hear anything. Let's see if we can find this. What is it called? Oh, my. Do we not have the mushroom hunter? Hello, mushroom hunter. Let's see what it's called. Oh, it's called, play growl. It's called growl. Hold on, guys. Check it out.
May 2015, a local horticulturalist is recording himself during a routine mushroom hunt in the woods of northern Illinois. The man is startled by a strange and scary sound seemingly coming from nearby.
Huh?
It's a long, drawn-out howl. It lasts about 9 seconds and certainly sounds like an animal of some kind. The mushroom hunter pans his camera back and forth to see if he can spot anything, but sees nothing.
I think it's time to go.
So this I would characterize as a yell or a scream, which does fit into the paradigm of the Bigfoot world. This particular vocalization has a definitive sound of aggressiveness. I would say whatever is making this sound is trying to scare this person out of its area.
Mushroom hunter, huh? What kind of mushrooms is this guy taking? I mean, what did you guys think? Do you think that sounded that could be like this animalistic type Bigfoot creature? I actually thought I heard like a man's voice in that myself when I was setting it up earlier. I mean, you know, a mushroom hunter. How nice. You can't even take that story serious, man. And that was from the History Channel to boot. So there you go. Fake news everywhere, folks. Fake news everywhere. Okay, so I have another one. I want to play this last one because it wouldn't be right if I didn't give you this Bigfoot show complaining about Bigfoot when I don't show you the fakest ass video out there of Bigfoot today. Did I even? Okay, hold on. I'm going to put the big screen on for you. There you go. We are listening groundzero.radio. So here we go. What is it called? Oh, it's called Fake As Bigfoot. Please hold. I mean, if you're going to you want to see that again? I mean, if you're going to do a fake Bigfoot, come out on the camera, show your goods, and move on. That, I can believe that more than I can believe anything I see on the internet when it comes to Bigfoot. Oh, my God. Poor Bigfoot. What do you guys think? I'm going to go in the chat and see what anybody... Oh, wow. Hey, welcome, everybody on Aftermath. Welcome. Wow, a lot of people out there. Thank you. You're helping people transcend from the low vibe. Oh, yes, definitely, Sweeney. I love the dynamic JP is setting up. Good radio. Hey, thanks, Yaz. That was Yaz, man. He'll be on soon. And mushroom hunters go... Only if they're in cow poop, BC. BC says mushroom hunters go after magic mushrooms, and they do. They do. So this will be fun. There's your fake. I mean, wouldn't it be right to just have a fake as a fake? Let me go in the chat here. Hey, Yaz, are you in the meeting already? Because I'll bring you on here in a minute. All right. So they grow in the cow poop. They're talking about magic mushrooms. Well, you got to question the credibility of a guy that's on a mushroom hunt. Obviously, he might be tending to the goods as he's collecting. I mean, who knows? So BC says Bigfoots are amazingly strong. They grow on tall, full logs, great distance. Interesting you said that. I didn't record that video, BC, but there was one you can find on the YouTube of a lady that takes a picture of this creature at the top of a tree, no branches or very little branches, and this thing is wrapped there like it's sleeping, and it looked like a juvenile Bigfoot. Freaked her out. Okay, cool, y'all. So, all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. We are going to break for the mid, and I'm going to set this thing up on the other side. Thanks for joining the Paradigm Shift. So anyways, there's your little music there to get you into hour 2. We're going to bring y'all on a little early since he's already in the waiting room. This is the Paradigm Shift, and we're going to break loose for a minute. Get your munchies, get your beer, get whatever you got, because you don't want to miss a second of the next hour with Yazman. If you're not on Aftermath.media, get subbed today, and you'd be watching this video right now. There's lots of podcasts, lots of information, videos, everything is there. Get over to Aftermath and get subbed. And remember, we use copyright-free music from In Audio by Infraction, featuring composers like Infraction, Moko, Cold Cinema, Alexi Action, Odd Vision, just to name a few, and they're putting new ones on every day. Look them up, YouTube, sub them, and if you're a creator, this is an excellent resource for your projects without worrying about copyright issues. Use them for your podcast, videos, etc. InAudio.org. Become a member today. Very affordable. It's some of the best music for creating out there. We'll be right back. Hour 2. Our guest, Yazman, expert on Bigfoot. Be right back, folks. Hang tight. folks. Welcome back to the Paradigm Shift, hour 2, kinda. Gonna go a little over for Yaz so we can really get a good chew in tonight. You're listening to GroundZero.radio, GroundZeroMedia.org, and StudioJFM.com. Share those links right now so others can enjoy the show too. Don't forget, you can give to our fine little network on the evil PayPal at JoeMagin@yahoo.com, JoeMagine. You're listening to the Paradigm Shift. We're talking about Bigfoot tonight. Pretty interesting. And I'm just going to play this out here. And I'm going to turn this whole... So now if you're listening, if you're watching on Aftermath, we are going to cut you loose because I only have one camera here. So we can only use that bad boy on the Zoom. So hold tight. We'll be right back. You can still listen to us on, of course, Aftermath, GroundZero.radio. There you go. That one will work. Hold tight. Okay. Whoa. What is all that? There we go. Okay. All right, folks, bear with me one moment. We are trying to figure this out. I actually found a way to connect the Zoom to the OBS, but I'm just not confident enough to try it yet, but we will soon. Next week, the whole show will be on Aftermath because I might as well tell you right now, Leo Zagami's coming on. I already did an interview with him. It's where the show is called Cyber Satan. So, it's a good one. The heck is this? All right, Yaz, hang tight. I'm getting into this thing. Here we go. All right, got the meeting going on my side. Hold on, I got to hit record. Bear with us. You know, it's a hokey
recording in progress.
It's a hokey poke studio, folks. It really is. All right, and there's Yaz ready to go. Let's bring him in. Thank God, somebody that knows how to use Zoom. Welcome aboard. Just waiting on the audio. There he is. Just waiting on your audio, Yaz. Hold tight, folks. I can plug a little. Just quit plugging. I don't want to plug like AJ.
Okay.
There you are.
In?
You're in. All right.
How do I sound? Okay.
You sound beautiful. Welcome to the Paradigm Shift, Yaz. How you doing tonight?
Oh, great, man. It's an honor and a pleasure.
All right.
I feel like we're old friends. All this time in the chat with all these.
I know, man. I know.
Wing nuts that we hang out with. I love it.
I know. It's like it's like my good friend Yaz that I've never met. I love it. That's great, man. All right.
Thank you, sir. I can add expert to my resume now.
Absolutely. You are an expert. I've never seen anybody so passionate about Bigfoot like you, my friend.
Well, I'm a closet squatcher, JP. This is probably my coming out party right here.
There you go.
On the Paradigm Shift Live.
Nice. A lot of people break their stuff here, so welcome aboard. Good to have you.
Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here. So you really threw a whole bunch of stuff out there, and I love it. You created a nice radio dynamic to really bounce off of me, and that's what we kind of want.
A little warmer upper for sure. Okay.
Absolutely.
So are you not going to do camera tonight, which is fine?
Am I not on camera?
I don't see you. I see your icon.
Okay. Wow. All right. Let's see how we do this.
Where did it start for you, Yaz? Like, where'd the whole big... Oh, there you go.
I'm there, baby.
Beautiful. Right? You're in. Yeah, people love camera.
Do I look good?
You look great.
My makeup artist didn't make it tonight, so I'm...
Oh, jeez. Fired.
My mascara is not on.
So, where did it all start for you with Bigfoot? Sasquatch, as you say.
It's a very long story, so I'm going to try to keep it real short. But,
we got plenty of time. Let it rip.
We all got intrigued back in the day with probably In Search of with Leonard Nimoy and what was it? National Geographic had those books that your parents had gotten.
Oh yeah, I still have.
And there was
that
one that was like Mysteries of the Unknown, and it had this big picture of Patty right in the middle of it. And you'd stare at that. What the heck is that? Am I really looking at something there?
Right, right.
And then, but it really started in the 90s. The 90s was a big moment for me because I was friends with some people, right? Not 15 minutes from where I'm at right now. and they had some serious activity on their property.
Really?
And they called in Robert W. Morgan.
Oh,
you
wow.
might remember that guy,
of course,
from Art Bell fame.
Right.
He was on. Remember the. He was on Larry King. He was obviously on Art. He was on Montel Williams. He was on a bunch of stuff,
big time,
back in the day. And so he was like a guy, and he was living in Ohio at the time, and he went out to the property and he started an investigation. So I mean, I was a part-time participant in this investigation.
Wow.
So I was hanging out with the dude, and he taught me a heck of a lot. And he actually collaborated with my father. My father was president of a university at the time, and they're actually working on a parapsychology degree program, and Morgan was working on the cryptozoology portion of it.
Okay.
And so I saw this guy all the time. He was coming over the house. He was in his office. He was like, we were out at the property, again, my friend's property.
Right.
And we went in the woods with him. We did all kinds of fun stuff. So the 90s was like an actual X-Files episode. And everything that was going. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff. This was Youngstown, Ohio. There was the, what was it? The Trumbull County UFO chase. Police were chasing UFOs around town. This was another Art Bell episode.
Right,
They were playing the 911 tapes. So anyway, that's where it kind of all started. And I have stories out the wazoo about that property, but I don't want to eat up time here.
Yeah, we got plenty, man. You got plenty, so let it rip. Yeah.
Well, we could get to it. Basically, where it all started was I knew this family, and I don't want to drop names or anything,
of course,
just in case. But
yeah, no names.
My good friend, Eric, we've lost touch since this. This was a long time ago, but
okay.
He relayed the story to me as it happened. They had sightings. Him and his brother and his sister were out on the property, and they were in the woods like kids do, playing around with sticks, making forts, and doing whatever they do.
Sure.
And they noticed that they were with the dog, the family dog was with them.
Okay.
And the dog started freaking out. Saliva, teeth, hair on the back of the neck standing on end. And they were like, what the heck is going on here? This dog is not acting normal.
Usually animals know.
Yeah, the dog is freaking out over a tree. So
really,
the dog takes off.
Okay.
Out of the woods, leaves them behind. I mean, so much for Lassie saving Timmy in the well. This dog was like, I'm out of here.
Dog's
right?
like, I don't want any of this, man. I'm gone.
I don't want any part of this, right? So the kids, according to Eric, he said that they looked at this tree and they were like, what the heck? Why? What's with the dog? And they followed the tree up. The tree actually, it split off, like sort of like a slingshot, into a Y. And in the middle of this Y, and this guy, like, we were sitting on a balcony off my old apartment in college when he told me the story. And he was dead serious. I believed every word of it. He said, what we saw was the head, shoulders, and part of the chest of a giant, tall, enormous, hairy man just standing there, staring at us.
Wow.
And that was the underwear changing moment.
Absolutely.
That made them hightail it out of the woods. And that was kind of when I started really taking the subject a little more seriously and realizing that maybe there's something more to this. And there was much more things going on the property. There was logs being thrown in the middle of it. There was a county road that went to a gas line. There was logs constantly being thrown. Giant,
really
huge, heavy logs that would be like, hey, don't go here. Don't enter here. And they were constantly having to move it. And other things were going on. They were hearing screams and blood-curdling, crazy, mournful moans in the middle of the night. And they didn't realize they were doing this, but you know how you might not want to throw your food scraps out to make your garbage stinky.
Right.
Well,
of course.
Right. So they would put it out for the critter spot down at their shed. And so there was one night that it was, sometimes there's say cantaloupe season ends. Well, you're not putting any more cantaloupes out, right? So
right.
They would take a break from it. And then when that would happen, that's when everything intensified.
Really?
And yeah. And so one exceptionally insane night, they said, all right, we're going to go out back and see if we could find anything, like any trace of anything going on.
Sure.
And they did. That day that they went out to look, they checked out their shed, which is a large shed. They had a lot of property, so they've got all kinds of stuff in there.
Okay.
Riding mowers and whatnot. The doors to the shed were completely torn off their hinges.
Whoa.
Just ripped off. And my initial thought was, well, what, were you robbed? Their crowbar marks,
Right. I mean, a bear wouldn't do that, right?
You would have to have some pretty good skill to grab onto such a thing and tear it off.
Sure.
And so that was odd. And then everything was in place inside of the shed. There was nothing missing, nothing gone, and it was just an anomaly. But again, they thought, well, it's got to be this thing or these things on our property. And that was like sort of around the time. This was the mid 90s, 90, 94, 95, 96, 97, that they called in Robert Morgan. He came to check it all out. And I mean, we were having dinner with the guy at their house.
Wow.
It was just an amazing time. Looking back at it, I didn't
definitely a neat experience indeed.
That's what springboarded me into it, JP, and I've been hooked ever since. So
I bet.
So yeah, I mean, so yeah. Well, if you want to, we can go down the list here.
Yeah, knock it out. Plenty of time, man. Take your time.
Oh, good.
We got a whole hour, man.
Awesome, man. Okay. Patty.
Right.
Okay. There's a couple of things that I noticed that they did not touch on with Patty. And
okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to.
You're good, water. Man.
It is hotter than Hades in this dungeon that I'm sitting in. Patty is I'm not going to say, I'm not saying it can't be a guy in a suit. There have been several guys that actually came out and said they were the guy that was in the suit.
Right, sure.
There's been more than one, so I don't know.
Right.
But the two things that grabbed me about Patty that always have were the proportions, and a lot of guys have talked about this, the proportions of the actual creature itself.
Okay.
So the legs are a little bit short, the torso's too long, the arms are too long, the head's got a real sharp slope to it. And a lot of people just have tried to figure out how you could possibly make a suit that actually could do that. And I suppose it's possible. Anything's possible, right?
Sure.
Especially today with today's technology. But back in the 70s, I don't know. Roger Patterson, I don't know how much money he had to invest in a good suit back then, but who knows? Here's what gets me about Patty. Okay, so aside from the proportions that are a little bit anomalous,
okay,
that creature has a serious rack.
Okay,
and I'm talking about mammary glands.
Okay,
if you really look at that video, particularly when she turns her head to look back at the camera.
All right,
and you see the head turn, you see the shoulder turn, and the head is sitting very low on the shoulders. That's another thing to note.
Okay.
And so she's got to kind of turn the body along with the head to look.
Right.
Right then, you get a glimpse at her massive quadruple
the gland
D cup
her breast
hairy boobage is what you get a glimpse.
I never
right?
actually never noticed that. Wow, I'm gonna have to watch that video now.
Definitely watch it again with that in mind.
Is that how they determined this was a female?
That's exactly how they determined that.
Gotcha.
And I have to hand it, if it is a fake, and I'm a skeptic like you at the end of the day.
Sure,
so I don't ever rule that out. But for Roger Patterson to go to his costume designer and say, hey, I want my Sasquatch to have some serious knockers. That is a creative spin that I don't think I ever would have thought of. And I have to hand it to him. If it's a fake, it's a genius fake. It's a really good one.
He sure made it something he loved.
Well, hopefully he didn't have some weird Bigfoot fetish.
Well,
that's just great.
If you were thinking about the creature, though, and we know there's male and female, that's how our world is, and you would expect a female Sasquatch to have female features, of course, as well as a male would have male.
Absolutely, and both have been reported in sightings. Many sightings have stated, well, I saw the genitalia.
Right.
And
that would be the defining moment, right? Oh, so am I, man.
Yeah, so that's my take on Patty. That's pretty much where I ended.
Okay.
The boobs did it for me, man. I
gotta watch that now, not to see the boobs, but just to, say, wow.
Oh, come on, you're gonna look. I mean,
well, they're kind of hairy. I don't know, man.
I don't know how you missed them. That was the first thing I saw.
Well, I guess I never looked.
I'm the weird one.
I guess I never looked close enough, but I will. I want to see that. See how.
Actually, that part of it is actually very important. From if you look at it from the scientific point of view,
sure.
Why would this creature be walking in front of these guys with horses, guns, and cameras and everything else? It just seems counterintuitive. Why? The fact that guys are out there looking for Bigfoot and actually capture one on camera is ridiculous enough as it is. It's very hard to believe. I understand why people are skeptical.
Of course,
but yeah, I mean that the fact that she put on a display is almost like when a bird puts itself in harm's way to protect their kids. So who knows if she was lactating, and maybe that's why they're so ginormous.
I see.
She could be distracting from her children or something else, and
that's possible.
That's one way to explain what might have happened there. As bizarre as that video is, and it is strange. I get why people have all the skepticism, and the whole topic is strange.
Right.
So yeah, I get it. But so that we knocked one out, JP.
Okay.
You want to move on to the vocalizations?
Give us the whole load, like Joe Biden would say.
Yeah, he meant that in probably more ways than one.
I think he probably did.
I'm not going there, man.
Yeah. Go ahead and give us everything you got, man. I might have some questions too.
Well, so the Sierra Sounds, which is what you played, I believe, immediately after Patty. That was Ron Moorhead's audio recordings that he got while up there. He had some decent audio equipment for the time. It's yet another impressive accomplishment that is almost, wow, you haven't seen anybody come close today. But yet somehow back then they managed to do this, if it's true.
Right.
And primates, they make some strange sounds. So
they do.
Actually, the funny thing, a funny side note is, when I was in college, we had the Sierra Sounds on our answering machine. So when people called the apartment, that's what they got, a bunch of Bigfoot jibber jabber.
Is that right? Wow. You really love Bigfoot, man.
But yeah, well, that goes way back. I mean, I had the Ron Moorhead recordings on CD back in, that would have been 98, 97 when I was in college. So, the anomaly about those Sierra Sounds, and I know they've been analyzed. Unfortunately, I don't have a detailed direction to point you to go look for this, but I know some analysts have taken a look at that and other alleged vocalizations, and they always look for anomalies in the there's the frequency range of what is being recorded there, and to see if it fits within the human realm, in which case it could be a human, or it could be fake, or it could be digitally tampered with in some way to create the sound that you're hearing. Who knows? But they have found some anomalous.
Did you hear that Art Bell sound we played before you came on?
That's the one I'm referring to.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
that's
sorry about that.
That's from the Sierra Sounds.
Right.
Ron Moorhead. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's the Art Bell. What he featured on that.
Go ahead.
Apparently, no, it's okay. They found some anomalies with that. In other words, like frequencies beyond the realm of human ability or even other animals. For instance, infrasound is a common thing that's talked about in the Bigfoot, whatever you call it, world. And that's like, I think it's below 20 hertz. You can't hear as a human, but it would essentially make you ill or sort of debilitate you in ways that, even though you can't hear. Well, police use this with their sound cannon weaponry for crowd control. Okay. They use infrasound. Right. Well, they've detected, I believe in the Sierra Sounds, they've detected infrasound frequencies and other frequencies that travel beyond the realm of human ability to duplicate.
Wow.
And I don't know, hey, if they're fake, they're fake, but it's yet again, it's a good fake. Right. If it is fake. They have successfully fooled people, just like Patty. If it's a fake, they've successfully fooled a lot of experts.
Wow.
And Sierra Sounds are yet again one of those, as ridiculous as they sound, and I know some of it sounds like some wild stuff that what the heck is that? But then again, it also aligns with a lot of reports that people have said they're hearing this or in and around their property. This sort of chatter. They call it samurai chatter because it sounds a little bit like those old samurai movies when you guys go, oh yeah. A bunch of
crazy. Do you think they were communicating, or were we hearing one or numerous ones, or?
The Sierra Sounds, yeah, it indeed sounds like there is more than one that's communicating.
Okay.
And whether or not it's a language, I couldn't tell you. There are people that believe that it is, and it is a bizarre. Bizarre batch of sounds.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I can't say for sure, but if they are indeed as intelligent as some people believe them to be, it could very well be a language. It could very well be just them communicating in their own weird way. I mean, chimps and gorillas, they communicate, they vocalize.
Yeah.
So is it a language? A lot of it probably isn't, but it's still a means of communication. So,
of course,
if it's real, then that's what we're looking at there.
I mean, my cat talks to me, so it's true. My cat literally talks to me.
Oh, absolutely. I got this crazy cat out in Pittsburgh. Obviously, I'm not living there now, but she's still there, and she's always talking to my ex-roommate Lisa. Shout out, Lisa. I think she's listening. So,
all right.
I mean, but yeah, absolutely. Animals communicate. Sure. Dogs, cats, all the rest of it. But yeah, the Sierra Sounds are bizarre, and I can get why anybody listening to that would be like, "Oh, come on, man, you got to be kidding me!" But hey,
at one point in there, I almost thought I heard like a human voice mixed in with the growling and the animalistic type sounds.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of Bigfoot guys will say that indeed they do try to emulate the sound of a human voice. And this is really creepy, but there have been some people who have activity on their property and they'll hear a random voice coming from the tree line that will call their children's names.
Oh, my.
And try to emulate the sound of their parents' voices.
Oh, wow.
And actually said to be masters of mockery. So if you hear owls in the daytime when they ought not be there, what is that? Is that one of these things? If you hear daytime birds in the nighttime, hear, I don't know, a blue jay at midnight,
so
you might want to question it.
There's a possibility that these creatures may be mocking sounds that they hear, kind of parroting like a parrot?
They are... I'm trying to be cautious. I don't want to sound dogmatic when I say this stuff.
That's all right.
Nobody knows anything about it. There is no expert. So you lied when you called me an expert, JP. But
you're an expert compared to me, man.
But I mean, they are absolutely okay. Sorry about that. They are notorious for being apers and mocking other things.
Wow.
So,
okay.
a lot of researchers talk about this, and it is really creepy. I don't know. So yeah, it is definitely a Bigfoot thing for them to try, and it also a means of communication. If they're being stealthy and they're around, well, they can emulate a bird sound and get away with you not noticing them.
Right.
But the thing is, oftentimes the giveaway is that they don't always get it right.
Okay.
Sometimes, again, it'll be a daytime bird that they're emulating at night,
sure,
or vice versa. And sometimes they'll try to act like one thing, and then they'll screw it up, and it'll sound like a grizzly old man trying to sing a cappella, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
That's the best comparison I can make. But that's the one thing that people do report. Absolutely. Them trying to fake it.
So that this creature, if exists, has some level of intelligence, a little more than we're probably thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've been able to have
lock it in.
Shane Goodall move in and give any one of them an IQ test, but I think that's what's going to be necessary to actually make that determination.
If they're parroting voices, sounds, things, and they're using it as a strategy, maybe to distract you or not let that presence be known, they certainly have some kind of intelligence that they use that for. And I mean, everything's a shot in the dark. We have no proof, so everything
we have no proof, and
everything here is a shot in the dark when it comes to Bigfoot.
It is a shot in the dark, and you actually really drove the point home tonight, and I appreciate that you did that, because I mean, we have a lot of video. There's tons of video out there,
right?
But who's to say that that's not some art school CGI students' attempt at pulling the wool over your eyes for a project?
Could be.
I don't know. And in the world of deep fakes,
this Colorado thing was the most recent that went viral. It was a month and a half ago, and to me, it looked like a costume, especially on the 200 times. It just looked like a costume. And, these kids, right, everybody's out for likes. And like you say, AI, that puts a whole new thing into it.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And that video, I mean, to me, that's got to go in the dreaded Stanton Friedman gray box, if not tossed out altogether, because it's just there's too much motivation for someone to fake it.
Right.
I know Clyde talked about this, and I missed half of his show when he was talking about it.
Yeah, I didn't hear that one either. So he talked about the Colorado thing, and what was his take on it?
Well, I still haven't gotten back to go listen.
Oh, gotcha.
but I intend to. But I think he actually covered this, because I was chatting. I was in the chat. I think Moosey was trying to catch me up. But again, I wanted to go back and listen. But it's a train ride. I didn't know about that train ride until I heard about this Sasquatch that people saw. And it looks like an epic train ride. I want to go on that.
Oh, no, actually, yeah. I mean, that's really close to New Mexico. We could go on that very same train ride. But this guy out of the middle of nowhere just shows up. It looked like a suit to me, man, like a costume.
I shared this with the guys in the chat. I actually checked out. There's a local business. It's called Sasquatch Expedition Campers. It's called Sasquatch.
Out there?
And in that same town.
There you go.
Okay. Wait for it. Hold on. I think Clyde covered this, so I apologize to anyone in the chat who already knows this. But the guys that run this company, it's really actually a cool company. Like, I would love to have one of these campers.
Sure.
This is a camper that goes off road. I mean, you can get off the beaten path with these things and still have the luxury of a camper. So they're creating some really cool stuff. But the name of their business is Sasquatch, and on the website is a guy dressed in a Sasquatch suit.
Oh, man.
and not. It looks like the same color that thing was on that.
I'll be darned.
In that terrain. So, and I've been told, or I've heard rumor that he likes to dress up like Sasquatch and do his thing. And that.
Do they sell like packages to go, camping on kind of like tours or something?
I mean, it would be much better if they were more transparent about it. Like maybe the Bigfoot could have a sign in his hand that says,
right.
Hey, come to Sasquatch Expedition Campers for 50% off. I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, anybody, I'm an ad guy. I do advertising.
Sure. Right.
Yeah, put a guy in a suit on the corner of a street corner and you'll get all kinds of attention. It actually works. So
might have to throw Sasquatch on top of this building.
No, I'll dress up like a cockroach and go parading out on the street.
My sister did that when we first moved in here. She literally made a costume. It's sitting out there on the rafters of a cockroach, and she went out there like a cockroach. It was hilarious, man.
Oh, you're kidding me. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think there's just too much motive for that to be a fake. And if it was real, it looked to me a lot like, the proportions were human. And the movement, I tried to give it a chance. I tried to throw my skepticism away and say, well, maybe. And at the end of the day, I got to toss that one, man. I got to toss it out because it's
right.
It's too suspect, way too suspect. And,
way too suspect,
Way too suspect. But who else did we have? We had Todd Standing.
Right. What do you think of that picture of that still of the face that he got of Sasquatch? It looks pretty convincing.
It's weird that you say that because that's the one that I don't believe is real at all.
Really? No kidding. So. Oh, wow.
Todd Standing is suspect to me because he's, I believe, and I again, if I had show notes to prepare this, I wanted to go in naked, as you know. I'm not blaming you.
Right.
So,
no, you're good, dude.
I think it's his wife that does some form of special effects makeup.
Oh, really? Huh.
Now,
worth
I'm not trying to do a guilt by association.
Right. Of course, man.
But at the same time, could they have faked that? Yes, absolutely. And there are some weird things like some people criticized. There was some footage of that face.
Oh, really?
Some people criticized it for not, the thing doesn't blink. And then next thing you know, he releases a clip where it blinks. It's almost like, it's just too. If it's real, great, Todd Standing, yeah, great. And
where was that footage taken, Yaz?
I'm not sure where Todd Standing is. I want to say he might be out somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, but I could be wrong about that. Yeah. He actually teamed up with Les Stroud.
Okay.
The Survivor Man.
Right.
And Les Stroud did a series on Bigfoot. That was really good. The only bad part was the fact that he teamed up with Todd Standing because he was a real. Les Stroud criticized him pretty hard in the show itself. So. I don't know that Joe Rogan commented on that. He's like, Les Stroud did a really great Bigfoot series, but other than the fact that he teamed up with the biggest fraud of all time, his nickname is Fraud Standing. That's what they call him in the Bigfoot circle, Fraud Standing. So,
oh Lord,
I'm not trying to crap on the guy because I don't know. Nobody knows here.
Right.
He's just a little bit suspect. And the way he presents his information, it's
that one got me.
Very odd. Well, that's the thing. It's so a lot of these things take a lot of digging, a lot more time than anybody has time to mess around with, except for me in my lonely hours in the basement.
There you go. We appreciate that.
But yeah, I think that again, there's problems with video because of the obvious things we've talked about. There's problems with photos, and there's problems with audio. You can't. This is what I call the Bigfoot Twilight Zone.
Gotcha.
Or Sasquatch Purgatory, whatever you want to call it. It's like
I love it. There you go.
Right. No matter how much info you gathered, how much evidence you put together, you have a problem. At the end of the day, it's the perfect scientific problem. You can't you could send your DNA to every lab on the continent, and no one's going to come back to you saying, "Oh, that's definitely a Bigfoot," and that's not happening because they haven't established a criteria for what Bigfoot DNA would be, it ultimately, I think, was Dr. Grover Krantz who said it, and he's been quoted about this a million times, so I don't have it verbatim, but I would say that he was right. And he said that until someone can either find a dead body, which is infinitely, I mean, you got a better chance of winning the lottery, getting struck by lightning, but it's hard enough to see one as it is, let alone find a dead body.
Would you say that's because just say that Bigfoot exists, maybe they pass way at the top of a mountain, it'd be hard to investigate something like that? Is that what you would think?
I would say this: if it's a probably arguably the top of the food chain of apex predators. And you rarely see apex predators.
Gotcha.
You see a lot of deer because they're dumb. They're running out in front of cars. They haven't made the evolutionary leap to figure out how to avoid automobiles. But you don't see apex predators very often, like wild cats. You don't see them very often.
Right.
Bears, you see them occasionally, but it's not as frequent as deer or raccoon or all these other crazies that are running around the woods. So, and animals go elsewhere to die.
Right.
They don't stick around. I mean, unless a Bigfoot strokes out on the local hiking trail, your chances of finding one, running across a dead one, are like next to none. And a lot of people think they bury their dead. I mean, Neanderthal did it. Why not these things? And they if they do, well, this goes back to the Native American traditions. A lot of the Native Americans actually claim to have seen this go down. And Native Americans are notoriously tight-lipped about Bigfoot. They just don't.
True.
They don't. I mean, they've been ridiculed enough over the years. The last thing they need is come out talking about Bigfoot and then
Right.
But anyway,
they don't have any Bigfoot tales that are out in the open that we've heard of.
Oh, they have tons, but it's always come out like second or third hand.
Gotcha.
So, like, as far as the burial thing, the story goes that you'd observe one moving a giant boulder and then burying the loved one and then moving the giant boulder back in place right where it was.
Oh, wow.
And then that's the end of the body.
Right.
This is why primates notoriously have almost no fossil record, because they're living in these forested areas.
Right.
And the Mother Nature cleans up after itself very efficiently.
Of course.
I've seen, what is it? When they do, they film the, people filmed this and ran it in high speed, and then you could see how it goes down. I mean, the insects, the scavengers.
Oh, yeah.
The rodents, the fungi, they all go to town on the dead body, and within a couple of weeks, this thing's almost gone.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then, so you only have, if you did have a dead Bigfoot in the woods, you had a window of time, a very narrow window to come upon it. Now, that being said, you're making me remember something. There was a, John Green was one of the founding fathers of Squatchery. They called them the Four Horsemen. Okay. It was Rene DeHinden, John Green, Grover Krantz, Dr. Grover Krantz, and Peter Byrne. John Green was a well-respected researcher, journalist, all the rest of it. And he published this in one of his books. I think it was Sasquatch Apes Among Us. It's a great book if you ever want to catch up on this stuff. There was a story of a couple, they were trapping in the woods, and they came upon the side of the creek bed of the riverside. They were all packed up and ready to head back. And there's this dead Bigfoot laying there in a state of advanced decay. And they said, holy crap, well, this is a major thing. We got to take this back with us. And, and the husband would say, no, well, I can't do, how are we going to do that?
How big are these things, Yaz? I mean, what's
they can be as tall as you and I are. How tall are you, JP?
6 foot.
Me too. They can be 6 foot. They can be even shorter depending on the age, and then they can go up to 8, 9 foot, 10 feet, even as high as 12 feet. They've been imagine something twice as high as you.
Yeah, something like that would have to weigh 400 or 500 pounds, I'd imagine.
400 or 500. I think the average guess is like 350 or something like that. But
a big unit, definitely.
So they found this thing, and they claimed that I say claim because, again, this is Bigfoot purgatory. We don't know it's true and it's not. But
right.
They made off with the jawbone, according to John Green.
Okay.
And they brought it back with them. And they put the jawbone on their mantelpiece. And visitors to their house would see the jawbone. There's what the heck is this? Put it up to their face. Oh my God, this thing is huge. What say?
Right.
Then again, Bigfoot purgatory. Their house burns down.
Oh.
So all we have are the stories. All we have are the stories from people that visited and saw it, supposedly, and the people that claim they found it. That's all we have.
Wow.
And I love John Green's work. I hate to say that it's fake because I know he probably researched it, but again, it's once again in Bigfoot purgatory. It's like so many things, and I really think these things do exist. Yet I could still tell you that 9 times out of 10, this stuff lands in the world of the damned. Like Charles Fort said, the Book of the Damned. All these weird things that we indulge all the time, so often end up there and just floating around in purgatory. So anyway, but Grover Krantz said, I put a pin in that. Sorry, he said you would have to get a body part. You have to shoot one, which would require a high caliber weapon and a well placed shot, and you would have to have a hacksaw to get off either the head, the hand, or the foot,
right,
to bring it back to prove it.
And
good luck doing that, because if the rumors are correct and these things do travel in family groups, you're going to have another one close behind you that's going to rip your head off.
Right.
So the chances of that happening are slim to none, and finding a dead one is slim to none. I mean, you're walking against a brick wall with the whole proof thing.
While we're in Bigfoot purgatory, as you call it, tell me, do you think in your own
things ground zero? Show off your style.
That these things are.
This is your American tribe has a name for this thing, which is interesting to me.
They
and
do.
Not just the Native Americans, but every culture, every continent, every country around the globe has a Bigfoot.
Really?
You have the Yeti of the Himalayas.
Wow.
Everybody's heard of the Yeti, the dweller amongst the rocks. The Yowie of Australia. In China, you had the Yurien. You got in Vietnam, our troops supposedly sighted some weird creatures out there, the rock apes. They call them the rock apes. And then you circle around here to America, and there's hundreds. I'm cherry picking right now.
Sure.
But you played it earlier in your show, the skunk apes of Florida. And I'm here in Ohio.
What is that all about? What is skunk ape? I mean, I've never heard that until a couple of days ago.
They call it the skunk ape because oftentimes these things are reported to stink, like really bad.
Oh, really? Okay.
Not every time though.
Okay.
And it's a lot of times it's a smell like everything from garbage to skunk to urine to everything disgusting you could think of, to fecal matter it's just
nasty.
It's foul. It almost reminds me of when sometimes you have a dog that gets startled and you expels that anal gland or whatever it is, and you smell this horrible skunk smell. It seems like maybe these creatures have something like that going on because it's not consistent across the board. But I think that's why they call it skunk ape, because ones in Florida particularly stink. Probably it's because it's so damn hot down there, and they're covered in hair, right? So
right.
That's the best scientific analysis I can make there. But
Florida
it just
has Bigfoot.
Florida Bigfoot. You got Ohio Bigfoot. They call it the Grassman here. I particularly like that name, the Grassman.
Okay.
In several other states, middle of America, on the eastern coast, they call it the wood booger, the woolly booger, or the booger man, which is said to be the origin of the term the boogeyman that you scare your kids with to make them not open the closet at night or whatever. Old Yellow Top, the no heads.
No heads.
Chicken Man, Corn Man, the Bushwoody in Tennessee.
What do they mean, no heads? Why do they call them that? Do you know?
They call them no heads because if you see them from the back, their head is seated so low on their shoulders. And again, you can look at the Patty video on that same thing there.
Okay.
It looks as if they don't have a head. It's just shoulders with maybe a little hump on the top.
Okay.
And that's all you see. And then
weird.
What's another one? Big Bay Tide. I think that's Cajun. Louisiana talk. There's just so many across the board, and Native Americans again.
Thailand, do they have them there too? Russia, Thailand, other places like that.
Russia for sure, and I don't know their name. Thailand, I have a dictionary that I've started composing.
I'm just asking because somebody from Thailand is listening, so I thought I'd include them. But yeah, wow.
Thailand, I'm not going to give a positive answer on that, especially since someone from Thailand's listening. I don't want to say the wrong thing on that. So, but yeah, so I'm turning on my hair. It's so dark, man. But anyway, actually, dude, they got them in your neck of the woods.
Oh, New Mexico.
There is a rich history. I'm fairly sure. Now, your state is
New Mexico.
You have Apache territory in your state, right?
Yeah, Hope and Hopi, Apache. You know, there is up in the Sandia Caves. They say there's a Sandia caveman that was once dwelling there. Could be a Bigfoot.
Okay. Well, the Apache, according to Robert Morgan, and he always thought he was good friends with Nina Cochise, and that was his tutor in the whole Bigfoot thing. He actually did a good book. I'm trying to think if I have it close by. It's Bigfoot Pocket Field Manual. I'm giving him a plug.
Oh, right nice! Now. There you go.
And it's
that'd be a good book to have.
Yeah, it's not a bad book. And Nina Cochise, he educated Morgan on a lot of this stuff and formulated his whole theory on it. But the Apache, I believe, was the Yamprico. Okay. So they have a tradition. They have a Bigfoot tradition as well. And you can see on the totem poles and in their oral traditions, they speak of the hairy man in the woods, the keeper of the forest, or a lot of times the word cannibal is involved, which is unsettling. Because the idea that they're eating other people or themselves is kind of weird. But there are some strange Native American stories about them stealing young squaws from the tribe and taking them as pets. Keeping them as pets, and then when they become old enough, impregnating them with a...
Whoa.
Yeah, and this is kind of fringe.
Of course, but like a native warrior Sasquatch type thing would be bred?
I think these things know on some level that they have to diversify their gene pool. Okay. But I think sometimes they screw up by stealing humans. And I think humans and Bigfoot, apparently, if any of this is true, are compatible enough to breed with them. But,
interesting.
But not well. It's like you take two dogs and you breed them,
right?
And you end up with a dog with some really bad health problems,
some kind of genetic issues, indeed.
Right. So there were some stories, some really creepy stories about young Native American women being stolen from their tribes, and again being impregnated and then being returned to their tribes ultimately. And it is said. There was a guy, I can't remember his name, but he's an old school researcher that barely makes any appearances. and he said something to the effect of that he couldn't really talk about it because he had a trust going on with the natives. But he said that they have a protocol. Right. When this happens, apparently it's happened before. They have a protocol where they get the elders together, they get the people together, and they decide what they're going to do and how they're going to do it.
Interesting.
And it's said that they've actually given birth to these people, and other people describe them as being very ugly humans with sloping heads and large ears. And I mean, it's just some bizarre stuff if you go that deep with it. But how do you verify any of that? Native Americans were afraid to take pictures of themselves oftentimes. I mean, they're out there, but there's not many. So there's not a whole lot of ways to really go to proving any of this is true. And again, Native Americans are tight-lipped about it, and they keep it real close within their tribes because guess what? They don't care if you believe in Bigfoot.
Right, of course.
They don't give a crap, and they actually don't want you to have anything to do with it. They know what they know. And whatever our leading scientists believe or think, they don't care. So there's no motivation for them to try to convince us.
They don't care.
they don't care. They don't.
Right. Well, we care. We kind of want to know. So, while we're in Bigfoot purgatory, let's talk about their culture, their families. You say they're family oriented, it sounds like, or at least that would be the perception that, these are breeders that want to, expand the family.
That's the theory, JP. I don't know. I think, again, we would need to have a Sasquatch Jane Goodall to be able to determine that definitively. And actually, oddly enough, Jane Goodall said she did believe that there was a possibility that Bigfoot is a real thing and could exist. So she was technically a believer. Why is that fax machine chirping? I don't understand. Whoa. Sorry. But
might be Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot's calling on the other line.
Says, hey, dude, we exist. Don't get weird on me. Well, I mean, in essence, people want to believe. People, this is a story that doesn't die. And I think that if there's an existence of such a, this group, this people, this creature that did at some point it'll come out.
I think it will. I mean, I have a personal suspicion that there is a cover-up. To this.
The government's involved.
Exactly.
Well,
I mean,
whenever you talk cover-up, you're talking about the government. We know that.
Of course. And every time you see a story come out, I think you referenced it earlier. My uncle called me. I was driving the car. I was driving home from work, and my uncle called me, and it was that Bigfoot in a cooler that somebody had gotten. Yes. He said he calls me. Well, my first name's Aaron. Yawsman is not my birth name, in case anybody was wondering. And so he calls me. He called me A. Hey, you're into this Bigfoot stuff, man. You got to tell me what's going on with this. We got to get the DNA. What do we need?
Oh, those guys contacted you?
No. My uncle.
Oh, your uncle. Okay.
My uncle called. And I said, Uncle Ray, I said, DNA, that's going to get you nowhere. That's a dead end.
Right.
So he said they have to produce a body. And as of right now, I saw the picture on CNN. It looks like a monkey suit in a cooler with a bunch of chicken meat from the butcher.
It did.
And that's exactly what it was.
Right.
And this went all over the news. Same thing with this train ride. It's all over the news. And yet there are other reports that seem almost fairly more credible that just never make it anywhere. So, it's
as far as these guys with the monkey suit and the chicken parts and all that rounded for about 8 to 9 days before it was exposed it was a fake. Why would these guys do this and make themselves look like fools? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. I think a couple of them were cops too, like reputable.
Yes, that's
they
right.
have a reputation. Why did? And I guess they were merry pranksters too. And again, I would have to revisit that story.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense why people would put their reputations, their careers everything on the line, knowing that is a monkey suit with chicken parts.
It is bizarre, sir. It is very bizarre.
Indeed.
I don't know. And who knows? But in terms of a cover-up, there are a lot of stories. And again, this is the problem. It's frustrating because these are all stories.
Right.
They're all either eyewitness testimonials or they're stories secondhand, third hand, fourth hand. And what do you believe? I think when you see something reported consistently enough that's unique enough, maybe you start to pay attention to it.
Right.
And this is one thing that has been reported very consistently. In fact, I don't know if you're familiar with Lon Strickler. Mm-hmm. He's a PA guy. He does the Phantoms and Monsters blog.
Okay. He
saw Bigfoot, so he says. He reported it to local authorities. And within a short period of time, there was a huge response to his reporting of it.
I bet.
The area was roped off. There was law enforcement officials all around and a lot of vehicles that he suspected to be federal unmarked, some just odd stuff. And he reapproached the area and asked them, he said, hey, what's going on? I'm the guy that called this in. What's going on? I said, get out of here. Get out of here. We're handling from here and don't worry about it.
Interesting.
So that is a strange thing. And this is another thing that's very interesting that I've heard reported numerous times. And I apologize for not having specific examples, but
that's okay.
They're out there if you do the digging. People who have had encounters with these things, who have had potential evidence. Actually, Stan Gordon reported this in his book, Silent Invasion. There was a lot of people posing as investigators that would come in to the territory and destroy all the evidence. Ruin the footprints, ruin the photos, just destroy everything.
Why would they do that?
Why would they do that? Especially if they're investigators trying to build evidence, right? Mm-hmm. But one thing that's reported a lot, and this is an oddity, is you almost have a Bigfoot Men in Black.
Whoa.
And it isn't Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones showing up to your door. It's two men. So this is like, say for instance, you see a Bigfoot, it's pissed, it's upset with you because you entered its hunting grounds and it threw a rock at you and you had to go to the hospital.
Right.
Or you passed out, something happened and you were injured and there's a paper trail or something, any evidence. There's these two guys that show up and this happened. If it were one time, I'd say, okay, whatever. But if it were two times, yeah, maybe it's BS. If it were 3 or 4 or 5 times, then it's like, okay, wait a minute, there's something to this. And what you get is you get a real clean-cut guy who looks like a military/agent guy, right?
Okay.
And alongside of this guy, you have somebody that doesn't fit at all. He looks like he stepped out of the biker bar.
Whoa.
He's got a beard. He's got a flannel shirt on. He looks like Grizzly Adams. He's a little disheveled. He looks like he did maybe 5 just shots of Jack Daniels before he showed up to the meeting, whatever.
Yikes.
But this guy doesn't fit the mold. And what they do is they kind of like good cop, bad cop, where the clean cut dude with the crew cut and, the suit jacket or the uniform, says, oh, well, something happened. Okay, well, all right, talk to this guy. And then the burly guy comes up and he tells you saw bears. Well, wait a minute, I didn't see bears. I was bears. No, you did see bears. I'm telling you saw bears.
Interesting.
And that's what you saw. And there's an intimidation sort of that goes on. Now, how this stuff gets out, I don't know, because people, if they were intimidated enough, they wouldn't talk about it.
Of course.
But yet still, you hear it again and again and again. Consistently. And I feel like people need to get it out. People need to talk about it. They want to get it off their chest. So maybe that's the reason. But yeah, this story shows up again and again. And it just seems like it's a weird sort of cover up. And whether that's because of the forest industry, where you got David Politis with Missing 411, and those documentaries are great. And there's a serious thing going on there.
What was going on there?
If you watch Missing 411 is a series of documentaries. David Politis is the guy that puts it out. Okay. And he's just documenting missing persons cases in national forests.
Okay.
He's not saying it's Bigfoot. He's not he sort of alludes to the fact that it might be Bigfoot, but he's not willing to like come out and say, yeah, I think that's what it is.
Of course.
But he's tried, he's got law enforcement buddies. I believe he's ex-law enforcement.
Okay.
And he's tried to crack open a lot of these cases, and he can't touch them. I mean, they're buried they're buried under a mountain of rocks, man. And but they're all out there, and he documents so many of them where missing persons, missing children, missing people. Their clothes are found, their backpacks are found in strange spots, terrain you would not want to traverse as a human. And you just one story is weirder than the next. If you get a chance to watch Missing 411,
I'm going to look it up. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Check those out. And I don't know. I don't know if Bigfoot is the guilty party, but
we have a lot of people in the mountain areas all over the country that disappear, and there's no signs of them, or like you said, they find their clothes, but they don't find them, and it's kind of weird.
Yes. Yeah, the Missing 411 documentaries cover all of that. And I just walk away from it shrugging my shoulders. I don't know what to say. But I mean, if it does have anything to do with a forest creature, I can see why maybe they would not publicize that. I mean, it's and I think there's a key that maybe one of the big problems is that these things, if they are real, assuming that they might hold the key to our history on this planet.
Okay.
I mean, we're about as foreign to this earth as you can imagine.
Absolutely.
The way we exist.
I mean,
but these things, go ahead.
Yeah, we've been lied to about everything. Maybe these things hold those secrets, like you said.
Yeah, I think that could be a part of it as well. And but I think it's being locked up tight, man. And there have been numerous stories as well. And again, take it with the dreaded Bigfoot purgatory grain of salt.
Purgatory.
I mean, special ops moving in after there have been a problematic area.
Interesting.
Moving in with helicopters and men in black uniforms with high-powered automatic weapons, taking out entire family groups and gathering them up and taking the bodies out of there. So the idea that we might have bodies is a very possible thing, and they could be stacked up right next to the aliens at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I don't know, man. I'm just
with Hitler. There you go.
Exactly. So we're really going out on a limb with that one, but it's a deep rabbit hole, man. And there's so much. There's just so much to explore in the world of Bigfoot, and so I will continue my journey, and I hope maybe I've inspired you to do the same. Who knows? And I got a lot of people actually that I know that would be great candidates for the paradigm shift to talk about this. Better candidates than me. Yeah. I'm just a weird basement armchair researcher guy. I'm not even boots on the ground.
Most of us are, man. Most of us are, and anybody that wants to be a guest on this show is surely welcome, as long as they're, I mean, there are some limits. We don't want white supremacists on it. Things like that.
I don't have any white supremacist Bigfooters.
No.
I do have some with some
there
credentials.
You go. White supremacist Bigfoot. Oh no! Now we're going to be racist to Bigfoot. Oh my God!
I swear to God, I saw Bigfoot in the woods wearing a white sheet on his head.
There you go. Oh my God! You know what? We're going to start rumors here now.
Nothing would surprise me in this world, man. It's gotten so weird.
It has.
Who knows what's next?
That's kind of what I think. I'm just going to get out of purgatory, Bigfoot purgatory for the moment, and just say that Bigfoot exists. And I think that Bigfoot and his whole colony of, I don't know if you call them people or creatures, they all live very high on the mountaintops, and they're much more intelligent than us. I think they communicate. I think they procreate. I think that they might steal people and use them in their colony for whatever. But I think, well, did you ever hear of that thing out in Oregon? They have that cage out there at the top of some mountain out there.
The Bigfoot trap?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, the Bigfoot trap, yeah.
I have heard of that, yeah.
We had a guy on last year that actually had a picture of that, and we had it up on the website for a while. Kind of weird, kind of like a novel thing, Oh, hey, here's a Bigfoot trap.
Well, there was a hand trap that was published in the Bigfoot Bulletin back in the day. That's another one of my hobbies. I collect all these old newsletters. And it's almost ridiculous, the fact that, I mean, these things could, some of the stuff that we've seen in the woods, tree breaks from 6-7 feet up that no man could do. And then they twist it around. Something with an opposing
I've
thumb
heard of that. Yes.
Actually has done this. And for a human to figure that they can, I can make a trap. I can get this thing in a cage. Have you ever seen King Kong?
Right.
I'm sorry, the newer one.
Yeah.
I mean, they're throwing chloroform at him and everything else, and he just keeps on coming. That's what you're gonna have to do for this thing. It ain't gonna take a tranquilizer dart. It's gonna take 10.
Right.
And then you got to deal with its relatives if they're around. So it's a.
I would imagine. Gang activity would occur if you were to attack one of them.
Yeah, and people that encounter these things are in such a mental state of terror. I'm surprised there are any pictures at all.
That's why I think some of these films that are taken are just too nonchalant and okay, you got up and you ran because you saw it, but I don't think you would be hanging out that long if you actually saw it. I think you'd be in fear of that thing and you'd run a lot sooner than that,
Yeah, that's normally, most people forget that they have phones in their pocket when this thing happens because you're in an emotional state. You're in an emotional state. It's the typical triune brain theory. You're in fight or flight. You're not communicating with the neocortex. You're not going to be like, oh,
right. Oh, I'm going to get a picture of this thing.
You're like, I'm going to die. This 1,000-pound man gorilla is going to pop my head off my shoulders, and I'm never going to see anybody again. I'm done.
Right.
So
I mean, that's how you think when you're in this kind of mode. I'm up in the mountains doing pest control. Some of those houses are empty. Those people go 4 times a year. I'm walking around their property thinking a bear is going to come up on me. I mean, that's your mentality when you're dealing with these large creatures that you don't know what to do about,
Sure. And I've read pre-internet. I used to read reports. The BFRO has thousands and thousands and thousands of reports. We're on the high end. Ohio's big. We're in the 300 some range. Pacific Northwest, they're like California, Washington, Oregon. They're 700, 800, whatever. There's tons of reports, and I would just take them in. I would just read one after the other. And nowadays, what's kind of cool for people getting into this is there's a lot of eyewitness radio shows where you do a tough job with the show, organizing and gathering up all the info. Much respect goes out to you. Oh, hey, shout out to the chat, by the way.
Yeah,
all my buddies out there. Forgot sometimes. I forget that they're probably listening. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so but yeah, it's what was I saying? I lost track. I got distracted. ADD, JP. Sorry.
Yeah, me too, man.
But
you just shouted out to everybody in the chat if you need.
Yeah, I know. I shouted out, but I was trying to make a point and I lost it.
BC said in the chat that a Bigfoot Purgatory T-shirt would be awesome.
Oh man, I have to work on that.
There you go. I think that would be a big seller.
Absolutely, man. I'll think about that. Make some notes and do some designs. What the heck?
Yeah, there you go. I might even buy one. So
so it's just an odd topic to cover, and it's
absolutely.
Tough too.
Well, thanks for telling us about all your knowledge of Bigfoot, and I hope you keep the investigations going.
I will do my best, sir. Like I said, I'm a closet squatcher, and that is really my biggest public appearance in a long time.
Yeah. Well, we had a guy on once. He was an alien guy. He wasn't well known. He wasn't renowned, but he had great information, and that's actually what the paradigm shift is all about, is bringing on just our normal. I'm not no big old famous talk show host. I'm just a normal guy sitting in. This was actually the janitor closet years ago over here at iBug Guy, but it did. I'm not even kidding, man. Yeah. This corner was the janitor closet, the chemicals and all the tools, but now it's a beautiful little studio, so we love it.
Well, yeah, I'm an expert now. You said it, man.
Yeah, man. You could carry that on. Go get on podcast. Yaz, do you have anything you want to plug before we cut it loose?
I mean, I wish I had a book to sell, but I don't. I have nothing to plug. Other than I think it would be cool if you had some of the chat guys on as maybe a chat room guest appearance on the Paradigm Shift. Would that be fun?
You never know.
There's some serious characters on there, man.
Absolutely,
I mean, these guys are cool.
If you're not in the chat on Discord, the Paradigm Shift capitalized, it really is a superb crowd of people, very cool people. We've all been bumming around for years now, so it's been good.
Thanks to Clyde, kind of got the ball rolling on all this.
It all started with Clyde. It definitely did. Yaz, cool I got to cut you loose, man. Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks again, buddy.
All right,
good talking to you, man.
Yeah, you as well. Have a good night.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Bear with me. You know, I work 2 different systems here, and we gotta hit the stream and hit the record. There we go. We're on Aftermath again. Wow. Did you learn something? Because I sure did. You know, we have a new saying now. It started here. It released on the Paradigm Shift from Yaz. Bigfoot purgatory. So I guess we're going to whip up a bunch of shirts and make it happen, apparently. So, yeah, great stuff. You know, it's always good to break away from all this craziness going on in our world, you know, kind of play with other topics. We do that all the time here. You know, we just like to, you know, sometimes this world madness will just stress you out, man. And, I got that comment. Somebody, Yes, I forget the camera's on. You'll see me do a little dance, especially if I'm happy. Sometimes I cut that, you know, I go over to like a mid and I forget, you know, it's playing the mid and I forget the camera's on. I'm like, oh, goofball. Because Saturday night used to be just radio. And then when the good people at Aftermath gave me that link, now we're just hamming it up because, you know, we like to ham it up. So, what can I say? I love what I do, and I love that you come here and you do it with me, so that makes it even more fun. What a great interview, huh? I mean, that's great, man. So, wow. Dang it, man. We did it again. Shot through 2 hours like nobody's business. Fastest place on the internet is the Paradigm Shift on Saturday night. We're here 6 to 8 Pacific time. Don't forget, Ground Zero is the place to be on Saturday night with a hot lineup. We have the best of secret teachings with Ryan Gable, the Paradigm Shift, yours truly, spooky actions at a distance with David Masters, and of course my favorite show, Paranormal with Jeremy Scott. Just love that show. It's a lot of fun. Guys, thanks for joining in tonight and being a part of all this. It's fun. Next weekend, Leo Zagami is coming on, and that whole video will be on Aftermath on the link. So be sure to catch that. It's the first time me and Leo did a video together. It was really nice. Don't forget, sub at aftermath.media. Get in there with a premium subscription, and then you can see the Paradigm Shift live on camera. Oh, boy. Love you guys. JP, out.